Does this sound any better, or does this sound any better?
All right, everyone, welcome back. We are back again for the collegiate side of the CEA now. And once again, I am joined by BeoMulf. How you doing? You get some water, you stretch your legs a little bit?
I did. It's a good time. Great way to spend a Saturday, casting some Starcraft, watching some great games. And I am really excited for this matchup we got coming up for us for the next however long it takes.
Yeah, it is going to be... Oh, we've got to... Oh, made an oopsie there. As, of course, the capturing the screen, so I accidentally switched it up there. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun matchup. It is going to be the collegiate side of things, as we mentioned. But not only is it going to be different teams, it's also going to be a slightly different format overall. And that means instead of a set of 1v1s, 4 1v1s, it's actually 2 1v1s and 2 2v2s. So there is reasoning for this, and that is in order to ensure that, well, players can field as many, or teams, I should say, can field as many players, can field a full team with as few players as possible. Sorry about that. 3 players is all that's required to actually field a full team, as you can repeat players for the 1v1s and 2v2s. So for the 2v2s, as long as you don't have the same set of players playing, you can actually field one player twice. So oh, sorry, go on.
And I believe there's a rule, right? So if you play, but if you play in 2v2s, you also cannot ace, correct? So like if you end up playing 3 games in that way, I believe you're precluded from acing, or maybe just acing the 2v2 in the best of 7.
I'm not sure about that. You might be right about that one. I'm not 100%. Looks like it is going to be RIT versus UVU, all one word for that channel.
Thank you.
And we can get right in there. Bing, bang, boom.
Yep, I see you. Exciting. So it's funny, I was looking at the maps, and of course, the way the maps are picked is the same way that we saw in the corporate side of things, where there's an A map and a B map. And we don't know what our swaps are going to be yet, unless you would just have that knowledge rather recently, but it was kind of funny. I was looking through these, and I knew logically that 2v2 was the thing in the last 2 maps, but I'm looking through these, I'm like, I don't really remember, whatever the maps are called. I don't really remember these maps. And,
I get that.
It makes sense
all the time when I look at the 2v2s. I'm like, wow, yeah, this is out there, isn't it? This is a really weird map. And it's like, no, it's because you never play on it, because you don't play 2v2. And I'm like, yes, brain, thank you for filling that one in for me. A little bit late to the party, but we appreciate it.
You get there eventually. It's fine. And it's kind of funny, especially look at these maps in particular. They are similar enough. They're close enough to what we would normally see, or to maps that are in 1v1 where you're like, this looks like it rings a bell. Yeah, sure. No, it doesn't. But you can pretend.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to be finding out if any of the map swaps were used. Unlikely, because I feel like that's the kind of thing that, we would know about beforehand type of thing. But we'll know in just a moment.
Looks like RIT. Yes, I believe that HHC's RIT. Yeah, RIT. So they haven't used it yet, but we may see a swap getting used between now and when our first map starts. So I'm excited for that level of chaos, as player maybe handed a swap that they have maybe not prepped for as much as possible.
Yeah, no, it definitely seems like that may be the case. Which is, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure they'll manage. Or they won't, and they'll lose badly. But either way, we'll get ourselves a game. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So for this match, we are going to be looking at the first player is going to be AJC for RIT. And he was kind enough to use an acronym for his name while also being on an acronym school. And he's going to be going up against Doc Coaster for UVU. And RIT is the Rochester Institute of Technology. And UVU is actually the Riders of Brohan. So that's a fun little name right there.
Agreed. Actually, I keep thinking that RIT is the Dark Marks because the Dark Marks is RIT's Quidditch team, and actually a very good one. So I played against them a couple times at nationals or whatever. No, the RIT is running into trees.
Yes.
We're not talking about tech here. We're not talking about any institutes. Nope. If you run into a tree, if you're not very good at driving things, I guess you got a home at RIT. That being said, though, they've had a great season thus far. They are 2-0. They have pretty easily dispatched their opponents both times, within about 3-1. I believe they dropped both times. They dropped a 2v2 matchup both times. And the Utah Valley University, which coincidentally is the largest university in Utah, surprisingly enough, when Utah State and University of Utah exist, they're sitting at 1-1. They did a clean sweep in week one. They went up 3-0, but they were taken to an ace match last week and were taken down. So, just by records, we gotta imagine that RIT maybe has a slight advantage here, but it's 2 weeks in. Could have just been the quality of team. Could have been an off week. We don't know.
Oh, absolutely. It's always a little bit of a crapshoot. Oh. And it's always tricky to. It's always tricky to make a complex analysis based on such a small sample size. But I'm sure as we get into it, we'll see a little bit more of the caliber of these teams evolving. And, well, we are going to be getting to game number 1 pretty soon here. And it looks like it may just be a PvP. By the way, it is following the same, concept as the corporate side. So we picked a lot of older maps, a lot of legacy maps, a lot of cool maps. And for this first one, it looks like we're going to be getting into Abyssal Reef. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Abyssal Reef, but the old 5-base turtle on Abyssal Reef was definitely a very real option.
Yeah, absolutely. And Abyssal Reef, probably the map that sat in a ladder pool for the longest of anyone I can remember. It was in for like 3 or 4 seasons almost. It felt like it was a good map. They just kept keeping it back in. So I don't know if this is a special. I mean, it definitely deserves its place in any sort of dream pool. Is when you're in there for that long, you're doing something right.
Oh, absolutely.
At least you're doing something less wrong than the maps that got cycled out.
I mean, doing something less wrong is that's like a fundamental way to play a lot of sports. Like, tennis. If you have no unforced errors, you're probably a very good tennis player.
Oh, absolutely. And if you think about any game, it's a game of forcing mistakes and minimizing your own.
And we have spawning up in the top left, I believe representing RIT, it is AJC in the blue.
And in the bottom right, in the red for UVU, it's Doc Coaster.
Now this is a PvP, so we are going to be seeing, of course, those preliminary walls getting set up here. Abyssal Reef PvP, that is, honestly, when we picked these maps, we were like, like ZVT, ZVP, there's a lot of good places to do Doom drops and TVP, good tank positions in TVT, and then it's like PvP. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Exactly. And I think when Abyssal Reef was in the pool, that was prior to Proxy Robo meta.
Oh yeah, well before, yeah.
Yeah. So It's gonna be interesting to see. We do see a double gate opener coming here from both Protoss players. We're not gonna see any sort of single gate expand, anything like that. As PvP is volatile, especially in a matchup where you theoretically can take the time and do some prep work for your opponents.
Absolutely. No, this is definitely a matchup where you could come up with a build very, very, very potent build. And almost regardless of what your opponent does, execute it to a certain point and then just hope from there. Like on paper, there could be a really maybe mismatched situation and you might be able to have an opportunity to get something done.
Absolutely, and PvP is one of those matchups where scouting patterns are so important because you can proxy pretty much anything you want on the other side of the map. So if you can get a hold of your opponent's replays through one of the like SCC replay stats or something, you can see, oh yeah, every PPV he goes here and here and here and here for the most part. Well, that's obviously a boon. How can we see that in this game? As we just see a double stalker chronoed out from both players. And that's interesting in and of itself. Well, as you say that, there's a pylon right out there. That's a sneaky pylon. Probably for a Stargate.
Yeah, based on the positioning, that would be my first thought as well. Ooh, Doc Coaster is going to be looking around, and he is going to find this. Oh, it's going to be a gateway, and literally gets shot as it starts up.
And now there's no gate anymore. So you talk about Doc Coaster. No, hopefully that's just me in 4 to 5 years. And I'll be able to get that Doc name next to me. All the reason we're going after that degree. But anyway, AGC, he says, you know what? No. I got scouted once, but if at first you don't succeed, try again. As he drops the second pylon down, keeps the probe there. This is not Schrodinger's pylon. This is not an attempt to be sneaky, an attempt to hide. No, this is him. Well, he's going to drop another gateway so he can warp in at the front. What is this? Do we see? Is this 4 gates here from Doc Coaster? No, 3 gates in a row.
Yeah, so he is very, very well prepared. Oh my! He forgot warp gate. Oh no! I didn't even notice. Oh, that is.
Chrono fixes all things. I'm not sure it fixes that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a real tough, very tough scenario. And, well, AJC is going up to 5 gateways right here. He is really, really all in.
Yeah, can you even support 5 gates on one base? I think you're capped at 4, assuming good macro. But interestingly enough, Coaster, he has also found a proxy pylon on the left-hand side. Of course, not warping any gates with it. He needs everything at home, but should he start to hold this, that is definitely a position where he can put in a couple of depths and shred the economy of his blue Protoss opponent. But of course, the scary thing is this absolutely massive Stalker force moving in from the right-hand side, and that Coaster's going to have to try to hold. And, well, the shield battery's not done yet. It will be done by the time the Stalkers arrive.
Yeah, Doc Coaster's in a ton of trouble, though. Oh, man, immediately targeting, firing down one of those sentries, and a good number of Stalkers going down. Shield battery not even going to be close to enough. Oh, and the force field! The huge force field to trap the entire army outside, and there is no way that Doc Coaster's going to be able to hold on, and AJC will just, kind of quickly cut the throat of his opponent right there. Very quick and efficient, and a little bit brutal.
Yeah, you see that? Maybe he had a chance to hold with the shield battery there, but he had just spent a chrono to get more probes out. He had like 5 energy on the Nexus when that attack hit. So 0 chance. He was not saving energy for the chrono, and when you got a smaller army and you lose your sentries like that, it's gonna be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to hold. AGC just ran right on through things.
Yeah, he absolutely just ran him right over. Even with the battery overcharge, it was going to be an uphill hold at best. But once he used that energy, things just went from very difficult to pretty much untenable for him. And, really, really rough game number 1. But, it's a clan war. You got plenty of time to bring things back. And,
Absolutely.
Are they going to be able to do that?
I think we're probably going to see Sean Jacobs coming in for RIT as well. He has been their other 1v1 player. Has not won a map this season yet, though, unfortunately. And Is he there? Am I just speaking out of past events and not looking at the future?
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. Sean Jacobs is going to be coming in to try and even things out for his team.
Or take it to 2-0, I imagine, as he's for RIT.
Oh, yes. My apologies. Yes, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking Doc Coaster, but yep. No, it was AJC that won that one. So yeah, Sean Jacobs, as you say, is going to try and bring it to a 2-0 scoreline. And really looks like Dartmouth is going to try and hold him off. But sorry, go on.
I was going to say, it's not all that surprising. AJC is now moving up to 3-0 on the 1v1. He's won every 2v2 as well. He really appears to be the ringer here for RIT. He's just killing everything. But who'd you say that? Dartmouth?
Dartmouth. Or Dartmouth or Dartmouth.
Oh, hey, I didn't come here to be called out.
Yeah.
Dartmouth, as I go to Dartmouth. But anyway.
Oh, cool.
It appears that Dartmouth, however you want to say it, is... Well, he has not played for UVU yet. So I have no data on him whatsoever.
Okay. I mean, this is still an opportunity to, make your mark. But, of course, a lot of places are just starting up now. So, maybe they were still getting moved in. But, well, hopefully we'll have ourselves a good series coming up.
Yeah, looks like Exile is Sean Jacobs, I imagine. And we're just going to wait for Dartmouth. There we go. Okay. I'm going to struggle this Gats match with Dartmouth.
I know what you mean, yeah. I think we just call him Dartmouth. I think that's just the easiest. And that's what it is, right? It's
or just the UVU player in the orange.
There you go.
Which is interesting because RIT's colors are traditionally orange, right? They're an engineering school, and pretty much every engineering school, orange for whatever reason is the color of engineering.
Huh.
I don't necessarily know why that is, but it is the way it is. So that's when you see someone graduate, say with a master's or something, they have the orange cap and gown, orange tassels, whatever. And we see UVU rocking that. RIT is rocking UVU's colors. I don't know in response because UVU's main color is green. So we're seeing a little bit, a little bit of color fight going on, a little bit of pettiness, a little bit of mental warfare for this game number 2.
That's kind of neat. That's a little bit of definitely mind games and definitely some thought going into that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, would not be surprised. Interestingly enough, actually, you're talking about mind games here. What better map to talk about mind games than Dockside Station?
One of the maps I actually hate the most. Like, it is actually the worst map for me. And I'm sure you've played it a little bit, and you've had some awful experiences with this map.
Well, you say that. I was playing playing pretty regularly when this was in the map pool, and I got a bunch of great wins over players I really should not have beat. Like back when the Collegiate Star League still had Starcraft. I don't know if it still does, but playing for ASU, and I beat Padre, who was the player manager for Soul Esports.
Oh wow!
So I beat some semi-pros because the queen, the hashtag Queen Ling drop was just so broken.
Right. Yeah.
I did not play that. I'm a pretty standard macro zerg. I did not play that map standard in the slightest because there's no way to.
No, you absolutely cannot. It was so brutal. I remember. Do you remember when True won his WCS or something?
Was that the Swarm Host meta where they had Swarm Host and the? No, I'm thinking of Sejong with the Swarm Host trapping people in others' mains.
Oh, that one was that. Well, funnily enough, that was the B map for this one.
Oh, jeez, man.
We really, yeah, this was a rough map to get put on for sure.
These poor players.
Yeah, right.
It's their life is just gonna be miserable. Well, that's the fun of it, right?
Oh, it's definitely fun for us. All right, and let's get into it. Spawning up in the top left position of the map, representing RIT, the Riders of Brohan. No, I got that backwards. Running into trees. It is the Green Terran player, Exile.
And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, in the orange, the Riders of Rohan from the Utah Valley University, it's Dartmouth. And I am minorly, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Because have you noticed that UVU's acronym is in fact like 2 strokes away from UWU?
I have noticed that. Yes, that was the first thing I noticed when I saw this team. What? Oh my god, it's in Vision of the Creep. That's amazing. Look at what we are seeing right now.
Is it Vision of the Creep?
Well, sorry, like the Zerg player doesn't have vision of it, but like if you look at the barracks, you can see it on the same part of the map as, like, you can see it on the same screen is what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, and the drone World Scout, and surprisingly enough, we don't have drones pulled to deal with it.
Yeah, I think he had the time.
First.
I think he definitely had the time to go after that.
Absolutely had the time. But I guess he doesn't care because it's a pull first opening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a contain. I don't think. Yeah, because of course he's expanding to the pocket natural. So this is just going to be a contain to make sure the Zerg can't move across the map or take the gold base. And now there's actually, as I say that, there's a 3rd barracks on the way.
Oh wow!
And this is a weird build. This is what's happening here. Now Zerglings will be able to go down, but the bunker's done. So yeah, these Zerglings don't want to move down, not yet. Not especially not with the Roach Warren on the way.
Yeah, no, Dartmouth is definitely getting ready to go up into Ravagers here, even adding on a 2nd gas. This is such a weird opening. Exile not taking any gases and adding on a 4th barracks here. Not taking the kind of free advantage that he gets with the map, electing instead to try and go for a 4 racks all in.
Yeah, I mean, I played this map a ton, but I'm looking at this like, man, how did I even play this map? I don't know. But Queen will be able to cancel that barracks. And we did see the Zerglings for a little. They were going to try to take down the back rocks, which is an idea I like, but Exile will not give him time for it. Not with this 4 barracks production.
Yeah, no, not not gonna happen there. We already do have some roaches on the way though, and well, Ravagers from the high ground are going to be incredibly difficult to deal with. For one, because they're going to be able to constantly pelt this bunker with corrosive biles, but then additionally, they just have so much range and they'll have that high ground advantage.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, I don't think the bunkers technically have range from staying on high ground, but they're going to still have range from being on the ramp and high ground not happening. We do have another bunker on the way. And this is, I mean, it's not the biggest Zerg army at the moment. And we do have Exile now moving in here. He's going to do what he can to target these roaches down. I mean, you don't necessarily see the hot morphs coming in yet, as Dartmouth doesn't have the gas. But, I mean, that's just a trade, and when you're all-inning on one base, your opponent has 2. That's not a good move, though, that move command there. Well, as I said, he gets the SCG, and I guess it's worth it?
Hard to say, because the bunker's still finished, and he loses a roach, and he... Oh, my goodness, 4 HP. Almost losing another Ravager here. But he will lose it there. Does have 3 more roaches spawning out, and a couple more that are about to join up. So I still feel like this is very, very good for the Zerg. But, like...
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow, that Marine somehow barely dodged that. Oh, boy, Exile trying to move forward into that. Does manage to keep the Marine alive, but he is in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, we're now in that position where the 4 racks on the 2 racks, 3 racks, 4 racks, they have to snowball. They need to be able to keep pushing forward, trading the Zerg off. And with the roaches here, with how much time the Exile took between being discovered and actually going in, this has provided the Zerg incredible amounts of time to get up to this roach count that can now allow them to push them out on the map. It won't even matter though. Exile taps out and says, you know what, you got too many roaches. I'm not winning this. Let's move to game 3.
Yeah, and I think that was pretty spot on. There was just too many roaches. There was no way that he was going to be able to get really anything done at that point. And an uncomfortable situation, but you know, at least he didn't try and, you know, lift off his barracks and make him build mutas or something. That was an interesting build for the map. Gotta say.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really. Again, I know I played this map. I played it a lot. I can't remember how you're supposed to play ZPT on this map at all with how droppable that is.
Like as the Zerg?
Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah, it was
that,
terrible. It was so
oh yeah.
bad.
I think there was a reason that I only played the drop queen build on that map. Maybe it explains why I don't remember how to macro on it. But now we're moving into the 2v2s. And RIT has a pretty killer combination. AGC, Sean Jacobs, which I believe is who Exile is, they have gone and they have not dropped a map in 2v2. AGC actually plays a lot of the 2v2s. He's 3-0, Sean Jacobs is 2-0. And I'm excited to see what we're going to have happen coming in here. It looks like from looking at RIT's records, 2v2s are absolutely their strong point. They have not dropped a single one.
Wow.
But they have, so the only maps they've dropped have been the Sean Jacobs 1v1, or whoever is the map 2 of the 1v1s.
Okay. And, well, that's going to be a big opportunity for them then to put this away. With, this is just going to be a really, really difficult scenario.
And yeah, it's also interesting because UVU's same situation. They also have not dropped a 2v2 game. The series for UVU have been won and lost on that 1v1 setup. So I imagine we're going to see probably Sojourn is the 2v2 player for UVU. He's played 3 out of the 4 total 2v2 maps thus far, just like AJC has. He's played 2. I don't believe we have Grifstar in all of this today. So we're probably going to see what Sojourn, Coaster for one of them, and I don't know what the other one will be. As I sit here trying to make probably say Dartmouth in there is Dartmouth and Sojourn as well. Question is, which is first?
It is Dartmouth and Sojourn first, and then Sojourn and Doc Coaster.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then it's AJC and Sean Jacobs, and AJC and Intemperi.
Intemperi.
Yeah. Yes.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I took Latin. That looks like something's vaguely Latin, but I got nothing. It's gonna be interesting. So Intemperi he has not played a 1v1 this season for this team. He has only played 2v2s. He's 1-0. I believe he played with AJC in the first week. So that's an established partnership there.
Okay,
and,
yes.
Okay. And the second exciting thing is, I think, well, I don't know, we're going to wait to see how rules go, but I know RIT at least once, or was it RIT or UVU? It looks like UVU at least once, RIT, at least once swap. I don't know if they can do that yet, but the question is, what's going through their head there? Right, you say, hey, look, it's going to be, we're against your kind of crack 2v2 team, we think. Not necessarily ours as much, and we want to swap. We want to move to Swines of Liesel, move away from the other map, move away from Trader's Exile.
Yes, I remember when we were selecting these maps that things were. Trader's Exile is like a really difficult map to hold on. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the looks like if you spawn
Yes.
in one base, you're able to get a natural. If you spawn on the other base, you're absolutely not.
Yeah.
Which means, of course, I guess maybe you can, but it's gonna be difficult to hold it. Which I guess means you want to make sure you don't have any Zergs in that set.
Yes, that's the big thing. Is one set of the maps was really good for Zergs, and one was very difficult for Zergs.
But on the flip side, man, Shrines of Liesel, what is that? The main of one player is so close to the potential natural of another. Actually, like what? You're oh wait, never mind. I'm reading that wrong. I'm looking left, right instead of right, left. It still looks like it's a shorter map.
Shrines of Lozul?
Is it shorter than Trader's? I'm just looking at the top.
I think so.
So that may be, but what kind of the idea is here is, you know what? We got this is kind of our B 2v2 setup. We want to be able to win with some sort of cheese early. Let's go with a short map. I don't really know what the rush distances are in here because, again, I don't play a lot of 2v2.
Yeah. No, I similar boat for sure. And it is going to be a Protoss Terran versus a Terran Zerg. And there's a funny little bug that you guys will see as I intro the players, where while I zoom in on 2v2 maps, sometimes it just doesn't work properly. And so it immediately, it like spams the button, so it zooms in and out, like really funkily. It's terrible. I'm not fond. But, you know, it do be like that. But either way, spawning down in the bottom center of the map, it is the blue Protoss player, AJC. And on the left side, his ally is the green Terran, Exile. Both representing RIT.
And then in the 12 o'clock position, in the red, it's the Zerg who just took the last 1v1, it's BeoMulf. And his partner, in the orange, wearing the colors of his opponent, is Sojourn.
So it's 1-1 then, yeah?
It is 1-1.
Ah, okay. Yes, I had that all over the place. Yes, it's 1-1 right now. Perfect. Oh boy.
So, yeah, I'm excited. Interestingly enough, when we look at 2v2s here, you see a lot of PT, right? What we can expect to see. Grant, this is talking about the pro meta, or as close as you could get in 2v2. I don't necessarily see what we're going to have here, but you see a lot of Skytoss mech, where you see the Protoss go, they open up Phoenix, they get a lot of Phoenix, they get fed money after that 4-minute mark. They just give a lot of Phoenix that allows them to establish the map control that they need for the Terran to be able to get into that scary late game mech. Now, Terran and Zerg, they get a little bit more aggressive. But you will also see that muta feed, where you'll see a Terran go, and once you get past that, I believe it's the 4-minute mark where you start timer, you see a really fast, you see like a 2.5 minute layer that goes into as fast mutas as possible, and you just get that muta flock again as fast as possible, which attempts the pin as well. So that's kind of the meta, at least as I've seen it thus far. I've been casting a decent amount of 2v2 recently, where it's all about getting this map control unit, whether it's the muta, whether it's the Phoenix that can kill workers, and can allow you to pin your opponent back on the other side of the map, but that while you expand and develop that late game tech that your partner is going for.
Yeah, I definitely have seen, in the 2v2 so far, I haven't seen many mutas, but I've seen a ton of Phoenixes. And obviously, as you say, when you get closer to the higher, super high level, mutas gain a lot more value. But those, I think the highest level player actually I saw in a 2v2 was last week, and both 2v2s that he played, he did go for that mass Phoenix, and it was incredibly effective.
Well, as we talk about that, we should probably not talk about what could happen, talk about what is actually happening here, as our orange-red team wants to be a little bit, wants the Zerg to be a little bit aggressive, as it looks like the Terran is macroing up behind things. As he's taking the gold, he has a Roach worn down, sitting only on about 23 workers, and I think we're going to see kind of like that railgun build, where you move across the map with 3 or 4 or 5 roaches, you try to put some pressure on, and I don't know how effective this is in a 2v2 matchup. Right, where you're trying to put pressure on 2 players at once, and really it's only you, because like, our orange Terran, he's expanded. He's not going for that really aggressive opener. Even as he gets great work done with that, is he going to be able to delay the command center?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit tricky. 2v2 is, as you say, it's a lot about coordination. So if you're going in on your own, any kind of punch you're going to make, any kind of attack, it's going to be a little bit weird. Now, this is one of those maps. Oh, man, this Reaper still surviving. Oh, my God, it has 7 kills?
Are you kidding me?
How?
How many workers? So, 23 SCVs, 21 probes.
AJC has been
6 probes
shredded.
have gone down. 7 probes have gone down here. That is you know what? Everything I said is now invalidated. 7 probes have gone down. And sure, you can feed your opponent after a certain point, but, you know, with these roaches moving across, AGC is going to be forced, both players are going to be forced to build that much more, which means their economy's not developed, which means feeding them later is hard. And with these speedlings and these roaches, they're just going to be able to get on top of everything. And
yeah.
Really nice for the Raptors as well.
Yeah, that was great from Dartmouth right there. And things, nice force field right there, just keeping those units out. But, man, this is really, really tough for the PT team. And this is kind of what this map prophesied which is splitting up the non-Zerg teammates. This is so difficult to deal with when you can't rally up with your team. Oh, these probes.
Yeah, there's such a difference between the main and the natural there. And sure, the bio, their medevacs out now, their tanks out, their stalkers, all these things. And this army of Dartmouth will die nice final actually connecting. But it's done so much. Now we do have more going in. And now with these blue plate, oh no, not blue plate, I thought I saw that. These numbers going in here, well, they're going to get on top of the tank, they can't fire. And now, this is Wings of Liberty 2v2 is what we're seeing here, as the Roachling Hellion was the meta of the day, and it was for good reason. It just killed everything. We've gone past that now theoretically, but apparently not in this matchup.
Well, and this is kind of what we talked about with this specific map, is that the Zerg play made stuff like this so difficult to deal with. And kudos to Dartmouth and Sojourn for really taking advantage of that and putting that heavy pressure on their opponents. Now, AJC and Exile are doing an excellent job of trying to hold on, but they are still really reeling.
Yeah, so the good thing here, or a good thing for our orange and red team, is we do see them progressing in tech behind. There's a nice snipe for that tank as well, as we do have Stim just about done, we have Cloak just about done, Banshee's on the way. So Sojourn's not stopping here. He says, yeah, we've got a decent amount of done with these Hellions. Dartmouth, keep doing what you're doing. Keep killing things, keep killing workers, keep trading, and essentially keep trying to kill as many Marines and Stalkers as possible.
Oh,
I'm gonna go to Banshee behind this. Oh no.
3 fresh mules, only one of them will survive, and that's only because Dartmouth didn't target fire it there. But meanwhile, the Cloak Banshee in the main base, Lings will not get anything done in the natural, but the recall was forced there, and man, this is a massive lead right now for the Zerg Terran team.
It's like a song, you know, you're tearing me apart every day. You're tearing me apart, and that is exactly the song that Sojourn and Dartmouth are making the RIT team listen to.
You're tearing me apart. It's just a bad time right now for the Protoss and Terran team. Sojourn really starting to come online in a big way too, adding on additional barracks, double factory tank production, funnily enough. And look at this, the Zerg player, wow, expanding like crazy and going for double attack upgrades.
It's like he's trying to play this like it's against a mech player, and he's not. I guess that kind of made sense. Oh, no. He's going to get on top of that tank pretty and nicely, but I guess it kind of makes sense, right? Because you really don't get Carapace upgrades for the most part against Protoss. And you don't get Carapace against tanks, for example, which is kind of with the linchpin of the Terran army, a nice force field. So I guess it makes sense when 3/4 of what you're dealing with, more or less, is something you don't really care for Carapace about. I guess that's kind of why you go for that?
Yeah, no,
These surrounds are killer.
Yeah, they have been really good, and this area in the middle has been such a trap for the Protoss Terran team, and really shows why the meta shifted over to that that shared base map. And well, yeah, it's tough when you don't have a Zerg of your own. You don't have that mobility, and you don't have the ability to deal with surrounds.
Absolutely. And it's kind of, I mean, there are opportunities, you know, you go into Phoenix or something, and you get that map control, but man, on a map like that, with how difficult it is to wall off, to keep yourself safe, you just gotta go for something aggressive, something early, because you can be sure your opponent's going to be doing the same thing. All right, but just how punishable that is.
Yeah. And well, it was brutal, it was decisive, and it was strong. And very well done there from the RIT team, putting themselves up 2-1 and given the chance to, as we head into a lot more of our Turtley map number 4, giving them a chance to put it away.
Actually, that was University of Utah that won the last game.
Oh, man, I'm on the website, and it's got everything backwards.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And, of course, you know, UVU is wearing the colors of RIT. So it makes life even more confusing.
Wait, was it? RIT was... Oh, you're right about that. Yep, no, that... Yep.
Yeah,
RIT is AJC and, yeah, Sean Jacobs. So it's UVU up 2-1.
As confusing as possible.
Yes. And now it's going to be Sojourn and Doc Coaster trying to put it away for their team against AJC and Intempere.
Yep, and Sojourn Dot Coaster, they are kind of the secondary 2v2 pairing there. They've won one game together. Sojourn, of course, is the 2v2 sniper for the UVU squad. I mean, we saw that. Actually, really, I'm going to argue that in that last game, that was primarily Dartmouth doing a great job. Yeah, Sojourn came in and killed at the end because he had the time to go and build everything up. But really, that was Dartmouth setting the stage, laying out that platter for Sojourn to go eat of as he pleased.
Yes, as you said, definitely Dartmouth was the star in that game a little bit, and it was cool to see. It was cool to see just, how good they were about that map. And I shudder to think of what would have happened if it had been a double Zerg on that map. I think it would have been even more one-sided, maybe.
I mean, perhaps. I think there did come a point where Dartmouth ran into the situation where he tries. I mean, he's able to own that low ground pretty well, but it was getting difficult for him to move up into the high ground. And then that maybe because he was kind of just dealing with two players at once. Yeah, that's correct. Actually, I don't think AJC can play again.
He should be able to.
Right, he's played 1-1v1 and 1-2v2. You can't repeat yourself in either matchup, right?
I believe you can.
Maybe I'm thinking. I read the best of 5 and best of 7 rules, and maybe I'm confusing the two or something.
Hang on, let me take a quick.
There's something about yes, no, it is possible. Yeah, so he is legal to play. It just means I don't believe he can. And yeah, I believe anyone can ace as well. So I was looking at the things that precluded you from ace. I believe is more best of 7.
Yes, you are correct about that. Yeah. It's designed specifically so that 3 players is enough to field a full team. And the only way that would be possible is if 1 player was allowed to play 2-2v2s.
Yep. That is correct.
Yeah, the only thing is you can't have the same 2v2 team in a row. So you have to field at least 1 different player.
All right, so Seeds of Ire, of course, will be our next map. It's a lot bigger. It's a whole lot bigger than that last map was. And I think you can, yeah, you can safely take its natural. Actually, you can safely take 3 bases, I think, looking at how this is top down. So that's going to be interesting to see what's happening there. Yeah, so the way Seeds of Ire works is you have a pocket natural that is defended, that does have a ramp onto the map, but it's defended by rocks. But you have the main natural, which is defended by a couple of ramps. So yeah, you can get, both players should be able to get to 3 bases rather easily.
Yes, this was definitely meant to be the counterpoint to the kind of Zerg favored map in the previous one. Similar to how it would be very difficult to connect up, but if you did, there were high rewards. On Seeds of Ire, it is a lot more difficult or a lot easier to connect up. And the rewards aren't quite as big. There's no gold base there, but they're still pretty damn good.
Oh, you know what? I think I would take a easy 3 base expansion over necessarily just 1 gold. But we should probably introduce our players.
Yes, we should. Spawning up in the, I would say 1 o'clock position. It is the Blue Protoss player. Give it up for RIT's AJC. And his ally in the 2 o'clock position, it is the Pink Zerg in Temp. We're not going to say the last part. We don't even know. Who knows?
And then for UVU in the 7 o'clock position in the orange, he's the Zerg, he's Sojourn. And his partner in the red, rounding out this quartet, is Doc Coaster.
See, that's the worst part about it, is that every so often the intros are fine on a 2v2. I don't know what the condition is, but
it's funny, you talk about this, and I see this bug. I mean, I'm watching your perspective, and honestly, it just kind of looks like you're being a little fancy with your camera, you know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, yeah.
You wouldn't notice. But, you know, I've been casting a decent amount of 2v2 solos, well, I've never run into this issue.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if it's something to do with game heart, or... Yeah, I don't know.
I do know game heart can cause the issue where you get weird consoles. At least in 2v2. I don't know if that's the trigger for 1v1, but when you get the nauseatingly, like, seizure-inducing console.
Oh, true. Interesting build coming out of AJC. He is going to be going for that double gate. Both Zerg players are fast expanding. Funny enough that the map where we specifically were like, yeah, this is the no Zerg map, or like the less Zerg friendly map, both teams field a Zerg, and both teams actually field ZP, and then both Protoss players go double gate.
Well, isn't there the argument to be made that the bigger a map is, the better it is for Zerg, at least traditionally? You know, you get more base, you're able to get out of that massive drone economy. Now, this is 2v2, so economies and how good you want it and how big you want it to be work a little bit different. But, you know, the argument I've always seen is, well, the smaller a map is, unless the Zerg is going to go all in, it's that much worse for the Zerg, because it's harder for them to defend. They don't have time for their eggs to hatch between pushes. All of these things.
Yeah, no, definitely in 1v1 for sure that theory holds true, and very, very strongly. And you could argue in 2v2 that it should, but I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those scenarios. By the way, look at this map. Look at what we see right there. There's a little park in the middle. And generally parks are very nice, except when, you know, there's super strong aliens standing on the high ground shooting down at you. Then those parks become less pleasant. Absolutely,
man. This map almost looks like it's making use of the extra layers that came out in the most recent map update. This is from the ladder from 2017, so I don't know how the map maker did it, but it feels like this is more than 3 levels on this map.
It does feel that way. It does feel it's a really dynamic usage of them.
And I mean, on top of that, it's just absolutely a gorgeous map. It is. It's kind of just fun to look at.
Yeah, no, it's really neat. We are
Oh.
going to be seeing the pink Zerg player load up on a lot of Zerglings here, but looks like he has not built a Baneling nest just yet, whereas the orange Zerg player already finishing that up and going for a wall here, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see that. It looks like Doc Coaster Sojourn. You can definitely see that they have prepared for this map. They kind of know what they want to do. They figured out how to safely go up to 2 to 3 bases rather easily. And they're going to be able to do so. And look, you can see how Craig's there. At the very least, look how he's spreading creep. He's being very careful to make sure that he's not spreading creep on top of the fact where his Protoss partner wants to build. Now this Oracle's going to go in and probably not get a ton. How many kills this Oracle's going to get? He's going to get 3 and barely get out with his slide.
Oh. Nice control. So close to getting cut off right there.
So you know what's also interesting? We've seen a couple deviations here, right? Doc Coaster, he's gone for Robo over Stargate. There is no Stargate on the map for him, just +1 on the way. And we see +1 attack, or +1 melee on the way here for our Zerg player. So if I was to guess, well, as I said, there's Twilight Council going down, so that timing's not really going to be there. It looks like our red-orange team maybe wants to be a little bit more aggressive. Because of course, it's interesting, in Tempori, well, he's going for Carapace, and that's a lot of Zerglings. And I guess, you know, his goal is to maybe bust through his Zerg opponent, say, you know what, you got Banelings, but I got +1 Carapace is going to be fine. Unfortunately for him, +1 melee does counterattack +1 Carapace there, or counteract, so that makes life a little bit difficult.
Yeah, the +1 melee +1 Carapace interaction is such an interesting one. Because it really is so much better to have that +1 melee if it's just Zerglings. But then as soon as Roaches and Lings get introduced, then all of a sudden the Carapace gets so much value. And it's such a weird thing. Now, I don't know if we'll see either player go up into Roaches here, but it is worth noting that this kind of little build and counter build did come out.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It really feels like both our Zerg players are just expecting the other Zerg to attack, right? So they're massing up, they're getting ready for this all in. They're just pounding Zerglings, getting Spire roughly similar timings. But because their opponent hasn't attacked, they're not going to attack because the opponent's clearly going to attack. Both really not sitting on too many workers, 34, 27. So it really just feels like a case of chicken, right? Who's going to attack first?
Yeah, it really does, but
oh, this is cool. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
On the way. We have a
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
And so I saw the Phoenix gun. I thought, okay, this is standard. He's gonna move into a lot of Phoenix. Probably drop a couple Stargates later on. No, I think we're gonna see some sort of janky mothership attack coming here as our blue Protoss just sitting here on 2 bases. Wow.
That is so many Zerglings. Oh my god, that's such a silly amount of Zerglings. And, well, there's no Banelings here. And that's a really big problem. Sojourn actually... Oh my goodness. He could theoretically run over a lot of this army.
But it looks like now we do have...
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Intemporite at some point did get that Baneling nest. And interesting, so we see Intemporite says, you know what, okay, I'm going to even out 1-1. I'm going to go into 1-1. And Sojourn's approach is more like, as long as I do damage, I don't really care. But now, of course, we see that time-honored dance where Banelings go down, Banelings go out, send Zerglings out. You make sure that, hey, maybe I don't want to die a little. And now Sojourn's army going in, but I don't really think that's a fight he wants to take in with slaves, not with the Banelings sitting there behind.
Yeah, definitely not. Now, one thing that is starting to be a bit of a problem for the blue-pink Zerg is it's 3 base for both Protoss and Zerg of their opponents, and they have not taken their second. Oh, God, that was a big Baneling detonation.
Oh, there's still...
Oh, no.
My. So the thing is here, of course, now we do have this pink-blue team moving across the map. This is all in, right? That is something they have to do. Can you load up Protoss units into a Nidus in 2v2?
I do not believe so. I don't believe so.
Actually, never mind. That's Nidus for orange anyway. We do have the mothership is done, and it has been hidden.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't believe you can recall Zerg units, though.
I hope you can for this instance, but I don't think you can either.
I'm excited to see what's happening here. Interesting. So we do have Bane. This is Lingbane. We're going into Lingbane Hydra from our pink player. There we go. Have it. The mothership core is now going to go in. Hit that recall button. There we go. The blue army is going to find its way into the third base here on our red player. But of course, well, the Zergling is having fights in 2 places at once for recall happen. But this army for blue is just too terrifying.
Oh, Baneling getting a big detonation right there. But this, yeah, as you said, the army from blue is so massive right here. Now, Doc Coaster does have +2 attack versus no upgrades for the blue Protoss. But I don't know if that's going to be enough to make up for the massive number difference.
All right, so he does have detection. I don't know if there's an observer here for AGC. I certainly don't see one. And now the Zerglings are running in as Intemporite. His supply has been evaporated. Nice fight from there. And now the recall has been forced, which means just more and more is going to go down. Unfortunately, they cannot kill off the mothership.
That is...
Stays alive.
Yeah, not killing off the mothership is not ideal, but they did hold, and the Zerg player kept all of his economy alive, pretty much. Protoss did lose the third, which is really unfortunate, but during all of this, just now, is the blue Protoss taking a third base. And as you said, Intemporite lost so much supply.
Yeah, he's been on like 27 workers this entire time, so really never been in a position where he can go and build up that. And sure, you can feed. So this is 2v2. Oh, no, I lost a base. Oh, no, I lost workers. Hey, give me some money until I get back on my feet. That's possible. but his partner also has been on this 2-base all-in, this 2-base mothership all-in. So Coaster is in a pretty good position. He can get the money he needs to build his base up, whatever the case there. Not so for our pink and blue team.
Yeah, not so much at all. And +3 attack is about to be finished for the Protoss player. And it's going to be +3 attack and +2 melee for the Doc Coaster Sojourn team. And only 1-1 on the field for the Pink Zerg. And he's barely got any units. Oh, Mothership is going to get taken out here. And that is a big loss. Blinking on top of the army. That may have been a little bit over-aggressive, actually.
Yeah, of course, the one thing is potentially the fact that there are carriers out, but there are enough stalkers that all of the interceptors go down. And I do think we are going to have to see our orange and red team fall back just a little. But you know what? One thing that carriers are not great at dealing with, they can fight them, but they're not great at dealing them, is the 20 mutas that are now on the way here for our orange Zerg player.
Yeah, and I think this is probably going to be the nail in the coffin here. If we look at this, it's a little bit difficult sometimes to notice this in a 2v2 because there's so much going on. But Sojourn went up to 72 workers and 4 bases off 8 gas, while Intemporai is still only on 24 drones, and he is going to lose just about everything when these mutas show up. And, well, even the Hydras popping out will be to their deaths.
Of course, these mutas do want to fight where the army is not, because that is a terrifying army for the mutas to deal with. But again, the point of these mutas is not to kill the army. I mean, as you shade things off, it's nice, it's great, don't get me wrong. But the goal here, they're going to ping pong around the map. They're going to annihilate, eviscerate the economy of our pink-blue team. They're going to force them to stay home while Doc Coaster expands himself, gets up to whatever tech he wants to be able to deal with this Ling Hydra carrier stalker composition.
And this is kind of cool. Sojourn splitting up his mutas into 2 groups, and he's going to be able to get even more drone damage done to Intemporai and knock him back into the teens.
That does not feel good at all, but of course he's also going to be able to get drone poke damage here onto AJC. AJC kind of the one surviving light, the one bit of happiness in this pink blue team, and now his economy is getting shredded as well.
And there is a very weird scenario with mutas versus carriers, where if you have enough mutas and you just keep microing them and kind of putting them on like attack move but like stacked up, you can kill the interceptors before they close the distance on you. And a carrier without interceptors is, it's like a fish out of water. It doesn't do anything.
This is well, fish out of water, at least it kind of flops and sits there. Yeah, carriers without interceptors do nothing whatsoever. And this is kind of cool because we've seen Doc, as far as I can tell, I believe Doc has fed our orange Zerg a good bit of money, which then allows him to get these 17 corruptors that they need to be able to deal with things. So the mutas are going to jump up out. They're really not going to be able to get a whole lot done here as well. It's a lot of Hydras, a lot of Stalkers, and pretty much everything anti-air. Corruptors don't really care for that much because not that nearly as much because, of course, they have high armor. But this room right here, at this point, we're just trading off. I don't want to keep those mutas alive, but they've got everything they want to get done at this point in the game. And now 6 Vipers at once on top of 20 Corruptors. That's a lot.
God.
That is so much gas.
It really is. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the resource feeding there. Definitely just loading up his hand with a big rock, and he is getting ready to just smash his opponent in the face with it. And, well, Doc Coaster's army itself, nothing to shake a stick at. Oh, getting caught on Move Commando. That is, oh, wow, that is a lot of dead supply for nothing. And a nice little win.
That coming out of that low ground position is absolutely not something you want to deal with. But these DTs, they're doing good work. It looks like our pink Zerg is going to sit back to 2 bases once again. That looks like they say, you know what? We're going home, boys. Let's pull the probes.
And I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Oh. I mean, this crazy fight going in. A nice positioning here from Truckers on the Hydra. Just going to be able to target down these carriers one by one. I'm sure there's a lot of ADR, so they can't sit there for forever. But the ground army of the Doc Coaster is good enough that as long as the carriers die, nothing else matters. Now,
and some huge blinding clouds.
Oh.
Devastating right there. And that is the last push of Intemporai and AJC, and even DTs in the mix for Doc Coaster are going to absolutely shred this army. What a brilliantly played game from the RIT team. Oh, did I get that right or did I get that wrong? No, it was from UVU. Damn it.
Going to take game number 4, and they're going to take this entire series 3-1. They lost last week. They were not undefeated. They didn't have these crazy map scores, but they said, you know what? We're going to win on the strength of our 2v2 matchups. We're going to win on the strength of our starting 1v1 player, and we're going to take this series. We're the biggest school in Utah. Don't forget it.
And an excellent showing from them. As you said, really standing strong on the shoulders of their 2v2 team. And yeah, they looked very comfortable in a 2v2. There was a couple of missteps, like those Archons at the top of the ramp, but overall their strategy and just their synergy was really solid. And I'm looking forward to seeing them throughout the season.
Absolutely. They looked rather good. And I don't know if this is because they just added a player. I believe Dartmouth, of course, got 2 kills for them. And, well, he's not played yet in this tournament. So maybe it's something to do with that. Again, they just kind of upgraded a player and doing that. But, man, they looked good today.
Oh, they looked really solid. And, yes, I think I am going to grab an interview with AJC. So I am going to disconnect from the call from you for just a little bit. We'll bring you back in like 10 minutes or so. Thank you for joining me, by the way. And yeah, we're going to bring on AJC, the captain of UVU.
Sounds good.
Nope, wait, that's RIT. Damn it, God, how have I gotten it wrong every single time? It's insane.
You flipped a coin and you 50-50 shot, and man, am I bad at math. The risk was calculated, but man, am I bad at math.
Yeah, right. All right, we'll talk to you again shortly.
Sounds good.
All right, we're going to be bringing on AJC here. I don't even understand how I've gotten it wrong so many times. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Jacob, AJC. I'm a cybersecurity student at RIT.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And awesome. So is this your first year with the CEA?
I played in the last tournament, the last collegiate tournament, in spring. But I guess so. Not exactly, but
fair enough. Yeah, but it's still relatively new. But we're trying it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very different this time around.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a really fun set of games. Definitely tough team with that 2v2 kind of gauntlet. But yeah, how was your team? Or well, I guess just tell us about your team. Tell us about like how you guys practice and prepare and what goes into that.
Sure. So we all get together. Starcraft used to be a really big thing at RIT. Now it's less of a big thing, sadly. But we get together. We do like an hour or two a week on the weekends, either Sunday or Saturday, and just go over VODs. Some people pair off and like play scrims and make against each other, or we find other teams to play against occasionally, and we just have at it. Most of the time, it's me doing a lot of the VOD reviewing.
Okay.
Which is it's a fun time.
Yeah, it's it's very time consuming, but very rewarding, especially when you can like kind of figure out tendencies from specific players.
Yeah.
Did you note any weaknesses with any of the opposing players this week?
Again, the people we're playing against, I mean, they're all very good players.
Yes.
Which it's hard to say. I know that a lot of people recently have been trying to play with more like macro PvP styles, right. And I found that I created the 4-gate build that used to exist in Wings, and I figured that would do really well. But outside of that, it was just we're gonna try our hardest. We figured if we cheese some of them, we figured they were a little better than us. If we cheesed them, we might even the playing field a little bit. We tried.
Fair enough. That's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about. I know that, like you said, RIT used to have a really, really strong community. Did you kind of resurrect that at all a little bit, or was that like, was it kind of easier to get in that?
I mean, when Tespa died, last year,
Mhm.
there was another guy who was still at RIT who sort of kept the community going, and then when it died, he kind of we stopped for a little while, and then he brought it back, and then he graduated last semester and passed it on to me basically.
Oh, that's
So
kind of cool.
yeah, so I didn't really have to revive the StarCraft scene, but I was there when he revived it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, bringing something back from not existing is much more difficult. So that's cool that you guys were able to at least keep it going and now be back for the CEA. Speaking of which, what's your guys' goals? What are your guys' goals for the season?
I mean, I think part of it is let's have a great time. We have a bunch of players that are pretty new to the game. In Ken and Tempore is like very new to the game. Just started recently. Same for Freven, another guy on our roster. So it's for this season is more about for us just having a great time, giving those people a chance to play in a tournament setting and chilling out. I mean, there's a lot of teams that have much better stacked decks than we do.
Yeah.
So we're going into every match going, we don't really care if we win or lose. We just want to have a really fun time. And
Nice.
that's how it is.
That's a great approach to it too.
Yeah.
It's really easy, especially with a game like StarCraft, as a 1v1 game, for it to be like kind of it can be lonely. It can be lonely and it can be stressful and it can be not fun. But it's nice to hear that you guys are creating a community where that's not the case.
100%.
And well, is there anyone on the team who's really like been a standout, like kind of a leader, or in game has come up with a lot of strats? I know you mentioned that you've worked hard on like reviewing the VODs and stuff.
I mean, Sean in Exile,
Yes.
he's been putting in a lot of after hours just practicing, and he hasn't been winning a ton recently, but he's been getting way better. So quick shout out to him, and then just the rest of the guys. Honestly, they're all playing the game without me having to like tell them. Not even during practice times. They're just enjoying it. So
Nice. That's awesome.
That's all I can say, really.
Oh, that's good. That's cool to hear. And well, is there anyone else that you or anything you want to say before I let you go?
No, I just want to thank CEA because it's been awesome that they've been running the collegiate scene tournaments. It's been a really fun time. I was really sad actually in the first my first semester of college to find out that Tespa died, and I was really happy to find out that we were actually gonna have like a community tournament for Collegiate Seed or Starcraft. That
Nice.
I can't speak today. Sorry.
That's okay. It sounds like you got someone saying there's a scrim you need to get to.
Yup, Siege Scrim.
There you go. And well, good luck with that. And once again, thank you for joining us, and good luck in the coming weeks.
Thank you for having me. Likewise.
Awesome. Once again, that was AJC from RIT. And next up, we are going to be grabbing an interview with Sojourn. Sojourn, the captain of UVU. And, well, we'll bring them on right now. Just going to adjust the webcam. Oh, no signal.
No signal? Hang on. Is that me?
Yes, that is.
Well,
If we can't get it set up, it's no big deal. But yeah, if it's an easy fix, by all means.
Maybe I just don't have the permissions set. Well,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Bad.
No worries. I'm sure we can figure it out for the next time we have you guys on. So first of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Let me leave the stream. I'm actually still listening to it. I was like,
Oh, fair enough.
hearing you twice. Yeah. So, Sojourn, and I main as a Zerg. I play for UVU, and trying to think. Like, what else do you want to know about me, really? So,
Whatever you feel like sharing.
yeah. So I go to Utah Valley University. I'm studying computer engineering. This is actually my last semester at university. So I'll be receiving my undergrad in that after this. So trying to get as much StarCraft in as possible, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Uh, I can just tell you a little bit about the team as well. The StarCraft 2 teams at UVU has been around for a long time. Um, so yeah, they I think it was like 2015 when we started playing here at UVU for
Oh
StarCraft
wow.
2.
So you have been around
Mhm.
a while then. Yeah.
Yeah, so we participated in CSL back in the old days, and then all the TESPA series when that was going, and now we're here. So we're happy that you guys were able to bring us into the fold. Really, for CEA, we're looking for a place to compete. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and we're happy to host it. So speaking of which, you guys obviously have been around for a while. Um, what are your goals for the season?
our goals are, well, mainly to win. In TESPA, we were never really like the top. Like, we got in the top 4 one season, I
That's
believe.
really good.
But we have always been around a 16 player. So,
Mm-hmm.
but for this time, like, we really want to, take a win. The competition, it's definitely not as fierce than it has been in the past, which is kind of sad at the same time, but also good for us. um, but yeah, we've been playing together for, I guess, I want to say a long time. Dartmouth and Nate, we've been playing, I want to say, for 2 years, and then as well as Grupsar, but he wasn't able to make it today. And they're they're the stars of our team, really. We've been practicing together. We practice every Wednesday. The school, actually, the bookstore at our school has sponsored our esports organization,
Oh,
and
that's
with that,
incredible.
they also allow us. They also souped up an entire lab with a bunch of gaming PCs, so we're able to use that to practice every week Wednesdays. Unfortunately, right now with COVID-19, we haven't been able to use it like we have in the past. So, but it's been, it's been great playing for UVU. They're a very good college, and they're very supportive of their esports.
That's really awesome, and that's really great to see because yeah, it can definitely be a little bit tricky trying to get the school on your side, but it sounds like they really are, and especially that sponsorship. Do you want to shout them out right now while you're here? Just
For oh yeah,
the school bookstore.
Yeah, so UVU bookstore, you can get there. You can go there to get all of your textbooks for the semester. They are probably the best place to go. So if you're coming from a different university, it's probably worth it to come to UVU to buy your books. But I'm not gonna tell you to. But yeah, they're great. They've been wonderful to work with us and to help us out. So, and we also have a sponsorship with Mountain Dew Game Fuel. So,
Damn,
and
that's
they've been,
awesome.
Yep, they keep our fridges stocked. No, just kidding. They sponsor our events mainly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they've been happy and very good to work with us as well. And StarCraft 2, it is one of our higher ranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have, Rocket League, which is doing fantastic. And they're usually in the top 4 of the CRL league every season. And we also have Overwatch that are doing really well. So
Nice. So shout out to UVU just tearing it up across multiple platforms.
Yeah, we're trying to do our best. We're here to learn and to grow together, and it's been just such a wonderful environment. You come to a school and you're like, where do I fit in? Where am I going to? Where are my friends going to be at? It can be kind of daunting for some people. So it's really nice to have a common ground that someone can come in and be like, oh, I play StarCraft 2. I'm not very good at it, but I've always wanted to become good at it. We have that structure set up so that people that want to come and learn StarCraft 2 or any game really, they can join the organization that we have here, because we're actually considered a rec sport. It's not even a club at this point. So we're through the intramural rec sports of the school. and so they can just come in and we can build them up to their strongest potential. So, and that's all we're trying to do. We're a bunch of Master 3 players, Master 2, trying to get the GM. I don't know if it'll happen, but that's the dream.
The struggle is real, but the grind is real too. It takes a while, but eventually you get there. That's really cool though. That sounds like you guys have a ton of support, and that's really neat. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your 2v2 squads? You guys looked really solid out there.
Yeah, that's the only series that we haven't lost yet. So, versus Irving, we got put in the ace match. And we're like, well, we can get him in the 2v2. So as long as we can get him in one of the 1v1s, we got this. But they're probably our toughest competition right now. But our 2v2s are looking really strong. I am kind of like the 2v2 guy right now because I do 2v2s with everyone individually. I'm not sure how much Dartmouth and like Doc Coaster do 2v2s together, right? But I do 2v2s with all three of them, and I want to say we're all pretty good at it. Like we've just been working together a lot. We've been playing together a lot, so we know kind of each other's strategies, and I can adapt to that. Gruffsar, he's not here today. He's kind of like our resident cheeser.
Oh, nice.
He plays random, and so every matchup is just like, what are we gonna do this game, Gruffsar? And he's like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna build a factory at the cross of the map and start building siege tanks. I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's build siege tanks. I'll back you up with the macro hatch and some roach ravager. And it's
beautiful.
Hopefully no one's listening to that because that's one of our signature strategies. But it's fun.
That sounds like a blast, to be honest. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, we do practice a lot of 2v2s, but mainly we play 2v2s for fun. We haven't really taken it incredibly seriously. We might have to in the playoffs though if we're gonna succeed and take that first place. So
yeah, no, definitely gonna have to have some very special stuff prepared. But based on what we saw, I think definitely off the back of 2v2s, it's a real possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And you already shouted out some of your players. Do you have any closing thoughts before I let you go? Anything you wanted to say at all?
Well, I need to also shout out Jacoma. He's one of our other players, and he's always been here, and he's helping us get the team going. He's actually the team coordinator for Starcraft 2.
Okay.
I was a team coordinator for Starcraft 2 when I started it in 2015 as a freshman. But he's been really good at taking over and, really pulling the reins and making sure we're still working together as a team and we're still practicing together. He's been really good about that. And it's really allowed me to put more time into StarCraft 2 as well. So I am really appreciative of his work and his hard effort for helping us with that. And
nice.
And yeah, that's other closing remarks. I guess look out. You see Irving. We're taking you on again if we face again in the playoffs. So
nice. That sounds pretty cool. And UC Irvine definitely. I think the guys to watch out for. But definitely looking forward to seeing more of your team in the future, especially some janky 2v2 strats with some random play. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be good. Hopefully they're not listening.
Exactly. And thanks so much for joining us. And have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thanks. All right. Welcome back, BeoMulf. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Enjoying listening to the end of that interview. Pretty cool to see. I'm really jealous of UVU's sponsorship support they got going on from their university.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, the closest we got with my undergrad was our Heroes of the Storm team won the Heroes of the Dorm the second year back when that was a thing. So ASU shut out for this massive esports facility specifically for the Heroes of the Dorm team that fell apart because the Heroes of the Dorm tournament didn't happen anymore. And I have no idea what happened with that facility. But so it's pretty cool that they got that for their entire organization. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's actually super, super awesome. Yeah, like it's such a different landscape like now and even in the last couple of years than it was like even 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So it's pretty cool.
And what is it? Irvin has the iBuy Power facility that has like 80 odd machines that, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't have that when I was in school, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
had my dorm room.
Yeah, right?
That was about it.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just going to be wrapping things up here a little bit. First of all, I wanted to thank the CEA, of course, for bringing us on. Gilded and Shopify. Gilded is, of course, the title sponsor. Shopify, of course, has been supporting quite a bit. As well, once again, why don't you give us a little bit of info about yourself and where can the folks find you?
Yeah, once again, I am BeoMulf. I cast on several different platforms. The primary ones are twitch.tv/BeoMulf and trovo.live/BeoMulf. I'll be live in a couple hours, actually, if you want to see more 2v2 action with the Any Apprentice 2v2 Championship Series semifinals and finals. That will be on trovo.live/BeoMulf. But I do other things. I do stuff for Afrika TV or Alpha X as well on Afrika TV. So really, the best bet is follow me on twitter.com/BeoMulf_SC2, as that's where I'll always post where I'm casting on that, just a good aggregator. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got on the docket for the rest of the time. I got a 2v2 tonight, and I got the Pizza Pie tomorrow night at 9 p.m. as well on the Trovo stream.
Nice.
What about you?
Well, we'll probably have that ESL Open Cup on Monday, the EU portion of that one, most likely. We'll be back again next week, and I'm sure you'll be casting as well the Exxon Open on Wednesday. And yeah, same thing. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/steadfastsc2, twitch.tv/steadfastsc. And then yeah, make sure to follow this channel as well if you haven't already, twitch.tv/CEA_SC2. I know that there's the weekly broadcasts that are this time 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. EST, and then for other time zones 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. PST. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Any final closing thoughts?
I had a great time. We got some great matches. Can't wait to see what teams we're going to do in the future.
Same here. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And everyone out there watching, have a wonderful afternoon. Take care. Get yourself some rest. You got some more casting to do, some more 2v2 shenanigans to check out. And thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.